Hi everyone, I'm Eesha G. I'm an anchor and actor here in India, and I'm very happy to support Animal Equality's Love Veg campaign. As part of this campaign, I'm here to challenge you to try a plant-based diet for 21 days. I turned vegan about 15 years back, and today I'll be sharing my journey. Where should I start? I've been passionate about animal rights from a young age. At the age of about 5 or 6, my parents were going through some old boxes in my grandfather's room. He's the reason we moved to America. He was a senior scientist for NASA, so he settled in Houston, but I never met him. And we were going through some of these old cardboard boxes in his room, and there were some VHS cassette tapes in the boxes, like hundreds of them. And they inserted it in the VHS player, and they ended up being videos of slaughterhouses in Mexico and America, showing cows hung upside down, being beat to make the leather more supple, and then skinned alive and then cut. And I'm very grateful to my parents for not removing me from the room and from seeing that at such a tender young age. I think children have a very clear moral compass, and as we get older and we get influenced by the world and society and other people, that moral compass gets a little bit more blurred. So I'm very grateful to my family for kind of enhancing or enforcing that moral compass at such a young age with such vivid imagery. So since then, I kind of was very passionate about being vegetarian, even though my family already grew up, I grew up vegetarian, and so was my family. In about 8th grade, I started questioning my family as to why they say eggs are bad, and it's basically chickens period, and chickens aren't treated right in the poultry industry, yet they're okay eating it in cakes and cookies and pastas. So this hypocrisy wasn't sitting well with me, and I started questioning those things. So when I was in 8th standard, I quit eating eggs in things and also got my family to. And then around 11th standard, I think I was 17 or so, so my best friend and I would talk about such things all the time, and the internet had just come about, and I would read about and watch videos about the animal industries. And I learned at that time through the internet that the dairy industry is full of cruelty. I didn't know what veganism was. We're talking about 15 years back in Texas, the meat and dairy capital of America. And I had never heard of a vegan person. In fact, even being vegetarian was taboo. When I would go to a Subway and order a sandwich without meat, sometimes you would literally get laughed at. So at that time, going vegan just seemed so extreme. I'd never heard of it, never met a single person. Nobody I knew what that was. But my best friend, who was Jane at the time, her community was very much more aware about veganism, being that it's based on nonviolence. And she went vegan a couple months before I did. And she was the biggest junk food eater I knew. I mean, she would have Burger King, Taco Bell, pizza every day for lunch. Her parents would bring her takeout from fast food restaurants. And she was able to go vegan, and I saw what she ate, and it seemed quite easy. She would just still eat her Oreo cookies and her burgers without cheese, Taco Bell without cheese, everything that she loved, she was still able to eat for the most part. And once I saw that it is doable, I also decided to go vegan, and I never looked back. And to this day, it was the best decision of my life to date. I'll be honest, so I went vegan for a week, and then I sat down and I had a tub of ice cream and an entire large piece of pizza. I was a dairy kid my whole life. I'm coming from a Punjabi family, so paneer and lassi and all dairy items were a part of my life in a very big way. And ice cream, I had a mad sweet tooth, I still do, so ice cream, cakes, cookies, all of that were very essential to my life, especially cheese. So initially it was a challenge. My father asked us to take up a tapasya. We were learning about the concept of tapasya at that time, which is basically any daily deed that you do of self-discipline to gain control over your senses. So what that means is basically, let's say I love chocolate cake and I eat it every single day and I can't live without it. One day when you give up the chocolate cake, initially it's going to be very hard, and you put it in your face. If you smell it, you want to eat it. If somebody shows it to you, you want to eat it. If you see a picture of it, you start drooling. But eventually, after a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, someone can stick chocolate cake in your face and you still won't have the physical craving to want to eat it. And so at that point, your mind has gained control over your senses, and now it's more of your own choice rather than your body controlling your choices. So we were learning about tapasya, and my father encouraged us each to take on a tapasya at that time. And for me, veganism was that tapasya. So yes, it takes a little bit of drive and sacrifice, especially back then. I'm talking about back then. Everyone who wants to go vegan today, you guys have it easy. Back then there was no vegan ice cream, vegan butter, vegan cheese, at least in Texas. And so I had to give up a lot of the things that I love. Today, if I was to go vegan, you wouldn't have to give up a single thing. And that's the beauty of it. Yes, it was a challenge for me, but within 2 months, I think it took for all the cravings to stop. After 2 months, it was just a daily routine like anything else. It was just like when people would say, "How are you vegetarian? It's so hard." And I'll be, "No, it's easy." So similarly, it became very easy. It just took the initial adjustment period. So those were the challenges I faced. Other than that, it's been super easy. I am a big foodie. I live to eat. I don't eat to live. So if I can do it, I know that you guys can do it, especially when there's so many options available today. In India, I feel like being that vegetarian is such a known concept for so long. It's so easy to eat vegan anywhere you go. And if you have people who actually care about you, they won't be judging you for it. In fact, you don't even have to say anything, "Oh, I need to eat vegan." You can literally find vegan options everywhere you go. If you're traveling, now every single international flight at least has a vegan option, and you can select it beforehand. I love to travel, and I travel a lot, and I've never had any issues with that. Airports are full of vegan options as well. So I think in today's day and age, whether you go out a lot, want to be social, or travel a lot, being vegan is very doable and very easy. If you want to, you can still carry your snacks with you or your smoothies with you, but honestly, you can find vegan options everywhere. I start my day with lemon water or plain warm water, and then after some time I have 2 coconuts. Privileges of living in Mumbai, which I don't get back home. So I have that, and then after a few hours I have a monofruit meal, or at least I start my day with fruit, whether it's a monofruit meal or sometimes a juice or smoothie. And I try to eat mostly raw. This wasn't always how I ate. More since I entered this industry, and for my fitness and my looks, I feel that raw food is the cleanest way to eat. So I eat mostly raw, and I have 1 cooked meal in the day. And because, like I said, I live to eat and I love food, I kind of let that part of my meal or my day go, and I eat whatever I feel like eating, as long as it's not too oily or too crazy. So I consume a lot of fruit and raw fruits and veggies, soaked nuts and seeds throughout the day, and then I have 1 cooked meal in the evening, and that's usually whatever I want to eat. So I travel a lot for work and for personal reasons. I've traveled all over India as well as internationally, and it's, like I said, it's never been too difficult for me. I book my flight choices for meals in advance. When I'm traveling, I don't be completely mostly raw, 1 cooked meal a day like I am while I'm in Mumbai or home. But I do try to start my day with fruit still. Fruit is available anywhere you go. And juices or smoothies are usually available as well. I recently traveled to Bali as well, which to my surprise, although they're a mostly Hindu country, they had a lot of meat and non-vegan options. But I was still able to find vegan food everywhere I went. I ate a lot of fruit, a lot of local tropical fruits. While I'm in India, the safest thing for me, whenever I'm not sure if something's vegan or I'm not sure what to eat or where to eat, is South Indian food. Even if you're in a tiny small town, you can usually find it. And South Indian food, vegetarian South Indian food, is mostly vegan. Sambar, utpam, dosa, coconut chutney all day, every day. I could eat it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, honestly. So that's usually what I eat when I'm traveling in India, and when I'm traveling abroad, it's a lot of whatever local fruits they have, and then again, eating out and I enjoy finding vegan restaurants and vegetarian restaurants whenever I travel, so that becomes a fun part of every travel or every destination that I go to. As far as protein, it's a very common misconception that you need X amount of protein to be fit, or that being vegan makes you lose too much weight. I know a lot of my male friends struggle with this issue that they don't want to lose muscle or lose weight. They're trying to gain. And I actually gained 36 pounds my second year being vegan without trying. I was working out, I was eating, and so veganism is a healthy diet. I hope this inspires you to join hands with me to save animals, our health, and the environment. Are you ready to take the 21 Days Plant Power Challenge? Take the pledge at Animal Equality's loveveg.in for the Plant Power Challenge and receive a whole lot of recipes, tips, and information on plant-based alternatives to meat,